Welcome to another episode of Me and My Health Up. I'm your host, Anthony Harcher, a clinical nutritionist and lifestyle medicine specialist. And today we're diving into a topic that's on everyone's mind: how to achieve that radiant, healthy glow from within. Our episode today is titled Glow from Within, the connection between diet and skin health. We're going to explore the fascinating connection between what we eat and how our skin looks and feels. We'll discuss how nutrition impacts our skin health and share some dietary tips that can help you achieve that radiant glow. And you're not alone in this journey. We're thrilled to have a special guest with us today, Christina Flach. Christina is not just any makeup artist. She's a world-renowned celebrity makeup artist, represented by Ford artists in New York City, LA, and Miami. Her work has graced the pages of Vogue, People, Time, and Elle, and she's been the creative force behind campaigns for luxury brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton. As the creator and CEO of her own makeup brand, Pretty Girl Makeup, Christina has become a trusted voice in the wellness and nutrition industries, sharing must-know tips, tricks, and hacks. But her impact doesn't stop there. Christina is also a dedicated philanthropist, using her platform to raise funds for causes close to her heart, such as children's education and sepsis awareness. With her extensive experience and passion for health and beauty, Christina is the perfect guide to help us understand the connection between diet and skin health. So sit back, relax, and start our journey to glowing skin from within, guided by the insights and expertise of Christina Flach. Welcome on the Me and My Health Up podcast. How are you, Christina Flach?
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me today.
Fantastic. And it's so great to have a world-renowned celebrity makeup artist on the show.
Oh my God, you're too kind.
Well, it's never had anyone of your caliber in relation to makeup artistry, and so I'm really fascinated to learn more about what you do and how you help others look their best. And and I'm sure the listeners would love to know that some tips and tricks. So, but before we get into that, I'd love to hear your backstory as to how you've arrived at being the world-renowned celebrity makeup artist.
Well, I was just a makeup artist, and I still am a makeup artist. I'm just very blessed that I'm able to work with all these amazing different celebrities and athletes and musicians and people on TV. But it did not start out that way. I started working on my family, my cousins, my mom, any face that I could get a hold of, and then which led to doing weddings and proms, and then working with different photographers. And then I miraculously got enough images together that I was able to get an agent. And so that's when things really changed and shifted, was when I was able, getting the first celebrity is always the hardest because they're a special breed. They want, to make sure that you've worked on other people that are, like them. And so once you get one, you get more, and it just kind of steamrolls from there. But it was a lot of hard work. I loved every minute of it, but it's not something that it's a lot, it's early mornings, long hours, you're on your feet. It's intense, but it's fun and it's exciting. I love to travel. I love people. So it's a perfect fit for me. And then I'm also a CEO and creator of Pretty Girl Makeup, and I'm doing a new line called I'm Too Busy. So I'm doing a new skincare line, a new makeup line, and I'm going to be a host of a new TV show called I'm Too Busy. I'm having my first episode on Wednesday, and I'm a beauty expert on California Live on NBC. So that's fun. I'm a philanthropist. I raise money for underprivileged children to go to private school, and I'm a mom of 5.
Wow, very busy.
Yes.
Yes, certainly have your days full. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So today we're going to discuss the glow from within, and it's that connection between diet and really good, healthy skin. So where does it start?
That is a great question. You know, I speak a lot about beauty from the inside out, and it's about your attitude. But it's also more importantly about the nutrition. What are you putting in your body? What are you drinking? Are you getting enough exercise? Are you getting enough rest? It's not called beauty sleep it's called beauty sleep for a reason. We don't get enough sleep. Most people think, oh, I got 5 hours of sleep. No, you need more. Your body needs to rest, needs to rejuvenate. And I really believe a lot in keeping your body hydrated. I drink a lot of green juice every day. It actually looks more like purple swamp juice because I put in beets and blueberries and broccoli and, power greens. So there's a lot of, I think for you to look like you have really good, healthy skin, all those things you need to do. You need to sleep. You need to exercise. You need to have a positive attitude. Smile goes a long way. And keeping hydrated and, not eating a lot of sugar and fried food. It affects your body. And I think you will look like the best version of you if you, take good care of your skin. Keeping, sunscreen, super important, eye cream, vitamin C serums, retin A on the face is really good. So there's a lot of things that you can do to prevent sun damage, wearing a hat and sunglasses, and reapplying sunscreen, super important.
I guess from a starting point of view, what do you consider the most important aspect to really hone in on?
Oh my gosh. I don't think there's one thing. I think it's all the things. A lot of it is, okay, let's do this. Yeah, the sun damage causes the most damage. Alcohol, cigarettes, terrible. But keeping your body hydrated with water, you will see the difference. Your skin will glow. It'll get rid of some of the wrinkles because when you're dehydrated, it affects your skin. So I think it's the rest, the exercise, the preventing a lot of sun damage, and then, watching what you eat and drink. All those things. If you do all those things, I think you will look like the best version of you. And then it makes my job as a makeup artist so much easier. Because when someone doesn't, takes care of their skin, it makes my job so much easier.
And I guess part of what you've mentioned here is managing stress, because you've mentioned a few stressors, such as like a poor night's sleep is a major stress on the body. And you've mentioned,
Yes.
Like smoking and drinking, and, that puts a toxic load on the body. And I could see, like, even mental stress, if someone's frazzled or has been anxious for long periods of time, which is affecting their ability to get a good night's sleep. And have you noticed much of a correlation between high stress and poor skin outcomes?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think stress is the number one killer, in the world. I think learning to manage one's stress, meditation is an incredible tool. There's so many meditation apps that are free that you can listen to and slow your mind down, calm it down. You don't want to be taking tons of, pills really hard on your body, hard on your liver. So I think all those things, they do make a difference. Keeping the phone out of your bedroom when you're going to sleep. If you're going, don't be scrolling emails or Instagram in the middle of the night. That's just stimulating your brain that, you're not going to rest. So putting your phone away a couple hours before you go to sleep is really good. Reading a book, taking a hot bath, making a cup of tea, just figuring out how to self-soothe. I think that's a super important skill to learn to do. Learning, if you're exhausted, if it's too much today, sometimes it's time to just shut it down and go for a walk, or go, get your nails done, go do something else, go read a book. I think it's important to figure out what our triggers are and figure out how to manage them.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. In terms of your daily routine, what would it look like?
Well, I wake up about 6:30 every day. I have a glass of water with a lemon squeezed into it, probiotic. I have tea. Today I went to Pilates. Some days I go to yoga. Some days I'll go on a hike. I make sure I try and get some exercise every day because I just feel like a much calmer, better version of me. And that's the other thing. When I'm speaking on podcasts or on TV, speaking about beauty and wellness, if I look like a disheveled, frazzled mess, no one's going to listen to me. So it is important that I take care of my skin and, how I look, because I can't be positive and uplifting when I'm feeling like, exhausted and haggard and, not like the best version of me. So I do think those things are all important. I make sure that I have green juice made every day. It's in the fridge. I'll have that periodically during the day. I'll take time, to exercise, to go just take a little bit of time. I love to be outside in the sun, go take my dog on a walk. I will be on a photo shoot some days. Some days I'm home doing podcasts or working on my company. Some days I'm going to go watch my kids at a golf tournament when I'm lucky enough to be able to go do that. My kids are in college golfing, so I love that. And I just try to, push myself. I've gotten comfortable being uncomfortable in a lot of situations, and it's opened up a lot of doors for me. My agents will call with a job, and I always say yes. And I'm incredibly grateful for these jobs that I'm selected. So I just think pushing yourself to an uncomfortable place for me brings great opportunity. And so when I've learned to not just be like, oh, this feels a little uncomfortable, I don't want to do it, I force myself to do it, and it'll lead to something great. And it also brings a great deal, much more confidence when I've overcome these obstacles that I thought were going to be the end of the world, that they're not.
Yeah, wow. It's I love that statement of getting comfortable with the uncomfortable and making.
Yes.
It's just on that. Like, how did you really embrace that and endorse, like, you sort of have that as a philosophy of life and really chase opportunities because of that statement?
Well, I think when my friend Berlin Fisher came to me a couple of years ago and said, I'd like you to be a beauty expert on NBC with me. I'm going to be hosting and I need someone to take my spot. And my first reaction was, God, no. Like, I'm behind the camera, girl, not in front. And he just said that to me. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. You're talking about everything that you know. We're not talking about anything that you don't know. It's not as we work ourselves up into such a frenzy of, oh, I can't do that. Telling ourselves, like, I don't do that anymore. I don't tell myself I can't do something. I don't sit there and create drama like, oh, this isn't going to work out, or it's, it is going to work out. And just being positive, it's so much easier. To me, worrying is the biggest waste of time. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. You'll get whichever it is you focus on. So much better to focus on what you want than praying for bad things to happen.
Yeah, it's a great mantra, and I can see how it's really served you well and opened up many doors and opportunities. So what's the next steps for you in terms of you're very ambitious and you have a lot of drive around this beauty and health and wellness industry?
Well, I write articles as well for magazines. So I'm writing more. I'm starting this new TV show, I'm Too Busy, starting on Wednesday. And I'm going to continue doing, segments with NBC. I love doing that, and, different photo shoots with my clients, and then keep creating new products and enjoy life, love and laugh. I think these are all important things to do.
100%. What's the I'm Too Busy? I'm keen to hear as to what's behind that.
Well, a friend of mine had trademarked I'm Too Busy, and he offered it to me. He goes, this is so perfect for you. I can't even keep it because this is for you. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so perfect. I'm too busy. But it also is like, people will come to me, my clients, and tell me, they've got skincare routines that they don't use all the time because there are too many steps. So I wanted to come up with something that was 3 steps that I want people, men and women, to use consistently. You can have the best makeup, skincare routine in the world, but if you don't use it, it's not going to work. So I want people to be able to use a 3-step. We start with a reverse cleansing, which is putting on a moisturizer and a cleanser, and then washing it off with the water. It puts up a barrier. How often my beauty chemist asked me, well, what do you do first thing in the morning? And I said, oh, well, I splash water on my face. And he said, really? So do you drink the water that you're splashing on your face? I'm like, well, after it's filtered. And he's like, well, is it in your bathroom? I'm like, no. And he's like, all right, then. That's why we're doing the protective barrier of the cleanser and the moisturizer and then washing. Because oftentimes people, if you think about it, if you go into water like a pool or the ocean, your skin gets tight because there's, different minerals and chemicals in the water. And so if you have a protection, a layer between that and the water, it's not going to get as tight, as dry, or, have fine lines and wrinkles. We do that. And then the third step is protection. And so we have that. And then regarding the makeup line of I'm Too Busy, I've had so many different clients of mine tell me, oh my gosh, I bought all these products and I don't know how to use them and it doesn't really fit my lifestyle. I don't have time to do this, contouring or caking or baking or whatever different things that they were sold. So I really want customers to have what they actually need, not things that they don't. Because I don't think you're going to have brand loyalty if you sell people things that they don't know how to use or use. Just something for the brows, eyeshadows, mascara, liner, cheek, and lip. And so that's what that is. Because I want everyone to be able to go get ready quickly and go out looking like the best version of themselves. They don't need an hour to get ready. I get ready in, 5-10 minutes. And, I try to look as presentable as I can, the best version of me, and just with a few steps. And I think it's totally, doable for anyone. They just need to know how to do it and what to use.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing some insight into the I'm Too Busy. How can the Me and My Health Up listeners best connect with you?
Well, you can go to ChristinaFlach.com, go to PrettyGirlMakeup.com, and I'mTooBusy.com. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all over the place. So yeah, have your listeners contact me if they have any interest in seeing any of my work.
I certainly will include those links in the show notes, and just wanted to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you,
Christina.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Podcast disclaimer. This podcast and any information, advice, opinions or statements within it do not constitute medical, healthcare or professional advice and are provided for general information purposes only. All care is taken in the preparation of the information in this podcast. Connected Wellness Proprietary Limited, operating under the brand me&my Health Up, does not make any representations or give any warranties about its accuracy, reliability, completeness, or suitability for any particular purpose. This podcast and any information, advice, opinions, or statements within it are not to be used as a substitute for professional, medical, psychological, psychiatric, or any other mental health care or healthcare in general. Me&my Health Up recommends you seek the advice of a doctor or qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Inform your doctor of any changes that you may to your lifestyle and discuss these with your doctor. Do not disregard medical advice or delay visiting a medical professional because of something you hear in this podcast. This podcast has been carefully prepared on the basis of current information. Changes in circumstances after publication may affect the accuracy of this information. To the maximum extent permitted by the law, Me&my Health Up disclaims any such representations or warranties to the completeness, accuracy, merchantability, or fitness for purpose of this podcast and will not be liable for any expenses, losses, damages incurred, indirect or consequential damages or costs that may be incurred as a result of the information being inaccurate or incomplete in any way and for any reason. No part of this podcast can be reproduced, redistributed, published, copied, or duplicated in a form without prior permission of Me&my Health Up.